Welcome back, everyone. We're on day 4 of the 12 days of genuine connection sparked by the holidays. And today with me, I have Mel sitting next to me. I'm so excited to have her with me as we talk about the C in check-in, which is connection. And so we're looking at how do we actually make those genuine connections through the holidays? As a lot of times, like we were talking about, it's always the lists and the little checklist thing that we need to do. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, I checked everything on my list, but then I feel so empty. I feel so a little bit lost about this. And I just feel overwhelmed by the list. And then next thing you know, it's January and the holidays are over, but I didn't even enjoy them. What do we do about that?
Such a good question. And it's one, I love that you're bringing it up. It's one that I've been really thinking about this week and trying to work through. I said to you before, like I was in almost panic mode, like just how am I going to do all this? My husband has to go away. This has to happen. That has to happen. And I had all those worries that you just described. So my answer, which we'll be doing this weekend, is my family will be meeting together over food or something like we usually do. And we're going to come up with a game and make a game for December. So my daughter loves things like badges and, like brownies or scouts would do. And she loves making like little things. So we're probably going to make them as little stickers or something. So I'm going to facilitate a conversation, which is a very fancy word for just basically like enable everybody to speak and talk about what do we actually want December to feel like. So we'll talk about all those and we'll start to write it down and be like, oh, I want it to be fun, connected, play, love. And then what other words come up, like hugs. Okay, well, how are we going to make that happen? Like, what do you want to make sure happens in December? So then things like my son will be like, oh, I want to build a snowman. And I want to open presents. I want to read a story together. I want to snuggle, whatever that might be. Any words that come out, we're going to put them on. I believe this is how it will turn out because it will be based on what people want, but we'll put them into individual little like circles that we can win every day, and we can win them multiple times. And it just is the concept is to have the intention of what we all want, not just me, but getting on the table what we all want and saying, okay, I want to do this, and doing it in a way that isn't more tasks to put on the list, but instead feelings to have, right? Like, I don't want it to feel like building a snowman is just another thing I need to tick off a list, right? But I do love the idea of winning something if I get to build a snowman, right? And my kids will love the idea of winning something. And I don't know, maybe I literally just thought of this now, maybe if we get so many, we get to like reward each other in some sort of way after that. I'm not sure how, but maybe we all get an experience or something like that. But yeah, so that's my thought, and that's what we're going to be doing with my family this year, is somehow gamifying this concept of building the December we actually want.
Well, you got me curious because you brought up your son a lot, but what are some of the things that you're going to put on that list that you want to do?
Very good question, because it is about connecting with all of the whole family, but there's also, so some of those ones are the obvious, like I want to bake things with my kids. I want to actually stop and do that and enjoy that process. And I think the word savor would just be on it for me. Like, have I savored something today? Right. So that's less task oriented and being like, it's just, okay, what have I savored? If not, like, what am I going to savor?
That's a great word.
That's what December is for me, is savoring and like being in awe. And I want things like, we're going to be driving to see my family, who we haven't been with for Christmas in a very, very, very long time, since a very long time anyways. And my son will have never remembered being with my family for Christmas. So it's actually like, what would I put on the list for that? I want compassion, because there's always family dynamics that go with it. And joy. And my dog's called Joy, so there might be some things I'd put about that on there, like things I want to make sure I do with her, so I'm not just getting annoyed. I'd actually put something like space, like taking space. So actually being able to step away And for my husband, especially, who will be with my family, like he'll need to step away in order, he's an introvert as well. He'll need to step away in order to then come back and like be in a good mood. Right. So like maybe step away is one, or space, or taking a moment, something like that, I think is key to get that balance. So I think mine would probably focus on those types of things. And then we'll naturally come out with the ones that will connect with my family, like my kids as well.
Well, I love that idea of like the feelings and trying to like get those feelings, because it really is about, we're going to remember it because of those feelings. Like our memory works with the feelings. And also in the day 4 that we, day 4 that we just did yesterday, we were talking about, like following the pain and the joy, like asking the whys, like what gets us there to keep listening to inside. And you just made that connection today of when we do those things and we bring the feelings in, because that's what's going to make us remember. I felt so much joy when I watched the kids put Christmas ornaments on the tree. Like, and then I'm going to remember that process versus, oh, it's just another thing. Got to go trim the tree. And honestly, I have to admit this. I don't think I've actually said this in the videos yet, but what actually sparked these whole 12 days for me was the fact that I did not feel like doing Christmas cards this year. I always make this Christmas card and actually have it half done. Still this day, I have it half done. But my husband wants this whole like paragraph of what we did for the year. And that's the part I don't like doing. And so it came to me like, what could we do instead to make connections? And like you said, the whole gamifying for you to make those connections. So for me, I was almost thinking for the Christmas card ideas, maybe not send out Christmas cards this year, but maybe I should think about the people I haven't been in touch with and send them a little note or send them a text or something, just an individual to make those connections, which is essentially what I want for the Christmas cards, but isn't going to happen because people are going to like read these and that's great. We know this about them. With Facebook, they know a lot of stuff anyways. So it's just rethinking those ideas that you have and making them into a connection. And you don't want to make, for me, I'm probably not going to make the Christmas cards, but I'm going to work towards what will give you the connections that I want.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. And just, it is about that connection, right? How do we feel connected to our immediate family members, but also afterwards? And don't forget that, like, we don't have to pressure ourselves to do it for Christmas, right?
Right.
Like, how about we do it for January?
That's a good point. Like, I think it is February, which is National Letter Month. And I did it last year, or someone had posted about it, where you write letters again with the mail and send them in the mail. And I actually sent out, I think 10 or 11 that month. And I either might have got a text back from most people or I even got 3 letters back last year. That's awesome. That's actually a good idea. Maybe I will just put that all off on till I have a space for it.
Yeah, exactly. We put so much on ourselves for December. And then I think that's where all the stress ends up coming in, and those negative emotions take over the positive ones, which we actually want to have. So how do we actually decrease the stuff on our plate instead of increase, and still do it at another time? With January, I don't know what the stats are, but there's a lot of depression in January, and receiving a letter would be amazing, right? Just amazing.
Might be getting one in the mail, you never know.
Like a sticker that was like related to them somehow, or a balloon, or you know what I mean? Like just the littlest things that say, hey, I'm thinking of you. Yeah.
That's a great idea. On that note, I want to thank you so much for joining me today, Mel. It was such a pleasure to talk a lot more about connection with you. And I hope we gave you, those of you listening, some ideas out there. I want to invite you to enjoy the rest of the 12 days of connection, or go back and watch replays. There's shorts on Instagram and YouTube, and then the longer videos on YouTube and Facebook as well. So come join us. And ultimately, I want to join you to see us in person for a virtual women's circle. And both dates are listed up above. Come to connectingmamas.com and just click the link Women's Circle, and you can be registered for either one of the dates. Let's get some connection and take a break from the holiday stresses and bring that genuine connection together. So I can't wait to see you there. And again, thank you, Mel, so much for joining me today.
Thank you.